Welcome, this is Oxygen Included, episode 4. In the last episode, we dealt with some slime lung and explored the slime biome. We were in the process of deoxidizing the polluted oxygen, which was really helpful because now we have a lot more oxygen sort of generation. So hopefully that's not going to be a problem. And in this episode, we're going to do some farming for some food. So I'm actually going to try and get ranching done. He's very close to getting the next skill point. And I'm going to set up some ranches. I'm probably going to put them here. But we'll have to see how we get on with that. I also talked about sanitation and plumbed toilets, which is also going to be a priority for the day. Well, that's a bit dependent on, how we get on with everything. So yeah, let's get started. I think I should probably put them here, really, but maybe we should get rid of this polluted water first. I don't know. Let's get them set up. Hey, so 100 tiles there, maybe? Nah, they're gonna have to go somewhere else. Put one up here. Yeah, that's a plan. So let's expand the ladder up a little bit, and we'll get into this here. Yeah, I think we're gonna go for about here, and this will only be temporary, until we sort of get everything else going, and by everything else going, I mean once the slime biome has kind of cleared itself out a little bit more, and maybe we'll have to get rid of this polluted water as well. I haven't decided where that's actually going to go, because I think we should go somewhere that's not here. But where? Maybe we get Atmo suits up today as well. I mean, there's loads I could do. Most of it easy as well. Yeah, let's sort this polluted water out first. So the way I'm going to do that, I'm going to build some liquid reservoirs out of gold. And I'm literally going to... I think, will that be enough? That should be enough, surely. If it takes more than that, I'm going to be really upset. I'll just... Oh, who's... Devon. He's fine. Yeah, if I can get all of this polluted water up, I can probably quite easily avoid many problems by way of drowning or suffocation or anything like that. And the only drawback, I suppose, we'll lose the Paco farm that we've been at, but then again, we've not been using that anyway. But I think hatches are going to be the one today if we can get some hatches going. I'm trying to keep this very low power, and I'm keen to keep it that way because for me that's been in the past one of the biggest colony killers, running out of power, or running out of coal, I should say. So hopefully hatches will make our existing power system setup sustainable, I suppose. That would be really ideal if we could get that going. Again, we're starving. Who's starving? Is that Abe again? Abraham. Maybe commute. It's a slime lung again. It's the same thing. Never mind. Yeah, I'm gonna cut to when they get all of this finished. So I have got the pump running to clear out the polluted water, and that's basically going to flow through all of these into this one. And when that gets full, it's going to back up and back up and back up. But hopefully, this may be enough for now. It won't be for long. It's going to fill up very quickly, and then I'm going to have to find a new location for it to go. But I also have the ranch space hollowed out now, which is really good. I am doing a 96 tile big ranch, and I'm not going to box them in just yet, because I don't really know how big I want it to be. Have I researched ranching? No, I haven't done that yet. So that's going to go away, and it doesn't matter anyway, because we still need one of them. Who was it? Devon. Devon needs a few more skill points first, and hopefully this will happen at about the same time, really. They're kind of sad, but because their skill points aren't invested, the morale's really high, merely because of the mess hall, and because of that, they kind of get away with being a little bit sad for a little bit longer. So I think that's, generally speaking, early game, a good piece of advice. Just try to only invest the skill points that you need to, and that way you prevent them from getting sad, or getting too sad, I should say. The oxygen is clearing out of this top bit quite slowly. We've still got some polluted water as well. That could be. I mean, everyone's suffocating, but they're not. They're fine. They need a good while, like, to tidy everything up, because everything's a bit all over the shop. But I mean, in terms of food's okay, for now. I found another, maybe geyser, maybe vent. I can't see what it is. Obviously it's blocked. But I mean, hopefully that's going to be, I don't know what would be particularly useful, maybe a natural gas vent or a hydrogen vent. Yeah. Well, as I said, this is, are we full yet? We're about full. But yeah, this is going to drain quite slowly. And I'm going to get them to sweep this up. I wonder if I can get them to sweep this up a little bit quicker. Because I could do with this being done sooner rather than later. Yeah. And then I think I'm going to do sort of a big toilet run. And we'll run the water sieve and the polluted water. I don't know whether I'm going to store it as polluted water or just normal water. You get to pick. And I'll talk about, how you get to pick when we get there. But I think probably storing it as normal water would be clever. So I'm going to run that. I might do my water sieve and stuff here. That way it's close enough to the water that it's within the same sort of piping network, but not close enough that it's going to give everyone food poisoning, which I'd quite like to avoid. Yeah, they're getting on that now. Only Steve is still sick. He will be fine next cycle, which is really good. Not having a toilet's not great either. Or just having one. That's. I can put my oxalate in the automatic storage, the full storage. If it's unclear how this works, this is an automatic dispenser. Duplicants load it up with whatever you say to put in it, and it then drops out immediately down. Obviously, there's no limit on how much it can drop down and contain, so it can go a lot bigger than the 20 tons that you would get in your normal storage bin. The reason I do it like this, it's right in the centre of my base, so they only have to travel to there, really, which is oftentimes a bit easier. So yeah, like here, and then it just drops into your little pile, and they all kind of just, it keeps everything a bit tidier. So yeah, I mean, that's pumping away now. I might put in another few, just for good measure. Otherwise we're going to be, that's going to overfill quite quickly. But yeah, so ranching, generally speaking, hatches are super straightforward to ranch. There's not a whole lot that can go wrong with them. My only concern ever with hatches is whether they're getting fed, which is quite an easy concern to have. I like to put a storage bin in my ranches, and I fill that with whatever food they're eating. I like to put in, where is it? It's in farmer, isn't it? Yeah, critter drop off for me hatches. That shouldn't be a stable. What am I doing? So I'm going to need to expand this out a fair bit to there. But yeah, I like to put in a storage bin for the food that I'm feeding them, and I like to put in auto sweepers, and I like to run the auto sweepers to wherever I'm putting my power. So if because hatches produce coal when they eat, so I usually run an auto sweeper, put one there, and then it picks up all the coal and deposits it wherever I want it to go. Which I'll put one in provisionally, but it probably won't get used for a while. I put this in there, and then I put this there. Now the reason I've got this set up is so you can maximise how many hatches, so you can have 8 hatches in a 96 tile stable, which is the biggest it can be. Anything more than that will get cramped, which wouldn't be ideal. I still haven't got the skill point he has, perfect. So I will say max 8 critters to avoid cramping, and I will set hatches and hatchlings. This will help with food. I will figure out a way to keep an eye on how many eggs I have. But what am I going to feed them? That's going to be the next thing. Wish they'd stop suffocating. I'm going to feed them sedimentary rock. I don't know why. I just want to, I suppose. Get over it. Yeah, I'm going to feed them sedimentary rock. Hopefully we can get some stone hatches out of them. Yeah. And I'll put sedimentary rock in this one too. Yeah, and when we get the ship and stuff down, that reaches the full thing. I'll put a shipping bin there, and then we'll be kind of laughing. So that just put that priority 6 so it gets to work. Yeah, and that is effectively ranch number 1, and we'll be. And I like building them where you can kind of expand up. So here once I've gotten rid of this polluted water, this can be, you know, I can expand, and just kind of scale my ranching to match my colony. I will have to build a kitchen, which I will probably put here, just with an egg cracker and a grill, so we can get started on omelettes. Omelettes are my preferred food of choice, because they just, they prevent a lot. How's this? I have no idea how that water's gone there. Right, we've overflowed. That's frustrating. That's really frustrating. It's fine. Can we? No, we can't mop. Oh, right, okay. Well, it can be fixed later, I think. Once it's in the liquid reservoirs, hopefully it'll all collect in one, and we can sort that out later when needs be, really. New printable. That's so close to being a perfect dupe. And then decrease cuisine. Although, so the interesting thing to know, these markers are permanent. So the max level you can get with an attribute is 20. If you have -3, the max you can get is 17. So it's like, well, you're permanently slowed. So I'm just going to take the dirt to avoid having issues like that. My God, this is brutal, really, isn't it? I think that might be being a bit dramatic, but yeah. Well, I'm gonna need to scale that up a little, just a touch. See how we get on. But yeah, so this ranch is now fully set up. I would say having this on a priority 5 and this on a priority 4, sorry, and then this on a priority 5, so it actually gets done. When I run the power cable up, I will plug in all the auto sweepers and it should just keep it doing for you. But if I wrangle, now I've got to find the hatches that I want to put in. I really wish they'd stop suffocating. Maybe I only have one hatch for now. Because I kind of find them. I've seen them about, like, so it can't be. I don't think they'll have died. Seriously, just the one hatch? Fair. Good time to set the priority for Devon to ranch as a very high priority because I do not want him doing anything else. I'll have to get some incubators going to help with the egg manufacturing process. Oh, Jesus, they really are. They're suffering, like, aren't they? Can they not use this ladder? I built them a ladder there. Put out a sedimentary rock. It feels like they should just be able to use that ladder without having to, like, repeatedly suffocate. Ah, there we go. Right, we'll wrangle these two guys up. We'll wrangle him up. Is there any more that I can wrangle up? Oh, there's one there. One there. Alright, sweet. So in terms of food, I think we're doing okay for now on food. It's not like, it's not a perfect situation, but it's not so bad that I'm thinking, you know, it might be curtains for the colony. We have a fair bit of access to food, so one thing I'm keeping in the back of my mind, these Pacus, worst case scenario, I can kill them all. Not to sound all like evil, but like I've got 6 or 7 Pacus, and these guys all drop a lot of Pacu fillet. How much Pacu fillet in Europe? 1,000, so that's enough for a duplicate to survive for a cycle per fish, really. And with us having 6, that's my colony safe in emergency for at least 1. But yeah, I mean we've got the little hatch there going. They're all being moved about and whatever else. So I think it might be time to get started on the sanitation element. I'm going to replace this with tile, because I want to. I'd rather it not be like just open. I will put in doors that way, and I will leave space for, where is he? Have I got him? Yeah, a water sieve. And then I will put in, I like to do it with a mechanical or a mechanised lock. I'm going to use a mechanised one because I'm not really wanting them to go in this room very often. And I will literally just have like that. The reason I'm not doing like a liquid lock, truthfully, I don't care enough to. I'm going to put probably a vent in there at some point and put some chlorine in there to sort out the food poisoning germs and have that just re-enter my water supply. But I mean, it's not like, I wouldn't describe it as pressing. Yeah, I'm going to need to get some more liquid reservoirs down. I mean, this in itself isn't, like, I wouldn't say this is necessary. It's probably a little bit overkill, if anything, but I'd rather be able to have that space specifically. Just because I'd rather have it, if you know what I mean. Like, I'd rather be able to keep going down towards the oil biome and maintain what I like to call a fire pole route. So when I drop in a fire pole, it'll go straight down and be kind of laughing. How are we doing with this? Yeah. So let me just put this on 1 speed while I talk through what I'm going to do. So I'm going to put down a transformer. I'm going to put down the transformer here. I'm going to run a heavy watt wire into it, and then I can. This wire is basically going to be just for my water sieve completely. I will sweep the stuff out of this room. I'm not so bothered about this room because at the end of the day, they're allowed in this room, but this room I prefer them to stay out of. And then we're going to get started on some toilets. So I'm going to expand the room slightly. And the reason I'm doing this is so I can have the overlap, as in I can have toilets while they still have access to wash basins, without, really I don't want them to ever have to go without washing their hands or having a place to piss, because that would be bad. Have I unlocked toilets yet, or have I? No, I haven't. We'll get them working on that, and hopefully we can get that all set up. So yeah, I'm going to cut to when this is finished, and when I've got 2 toilets in, and I'll talk about the plumbing. So welcome back. We are in the process of getting the toilets in, and I'm going to start working on the plumbing now. In terms of an update on our ranching, we've got 7 critters in there, 7 hatches, and they are just churning out coal at a quite happy rate. So in terms of like our 1 coal generator that's barely running, that should be kind of dealt with now. But anyway, the plumbing. So I am going to have 1 entry pipe and 1 exit pipe, and I just want to literally run my exit pipe like this. I want to run it down, and I just want to run it into my water sieve. So I'll run it. I'll actually run it from the proper height, so that goes into my water sieve. Now, because I'm wanting to siphon off and store clean water, I will run it from my exit pipe. So I will run, the way I like to do it, I just like to use a bridge. So the bridge basically tells the water sieve which way I want the water to go. And when I put this in like that, the bridge kind of instructs the system to prioritize pushing water this way. And then if I take it out of the bridge, that means if it can't go that way, it will go into my liquid reservoirs, which will keep all of the clean water in there. Now this clean water will be littered in food poisoning, because it's come straight from the toilets and the sinks and whatever else, and probably the showers when I put those in. So I wouldn't advise putting it straight back into your water system unless you want everyone to get really sick. I don't know if it actually causes them to get sick, but I just think it's easier to do this. You don't get enough water to make it worth contaminating everything. And then I usually fill this room with chlorine when I get going. However, you do need to add in a water pump because you need to get some water into the system. So I like to do this. Literally just as simple as that. I put in a water pump and a bottle emptier. I will get it to empty. I'll get one of the duplicants to run maybe a few 100 kilos, maybe a ton of water. Don't want any of these. No. A few 100 kilos of water, and then we'll put that in there. The liquid pump will then pump it into the system, and then when everything starts getting used and we start getting proper flow, we will be in a pretty safe position. But the reason I'm doing it like this, I don't want any downtime of the toilets, mainly because I just don't want to have to deal with that. When they start pissing everywhere, it can be really inconvenient. So I'm just going to avoid that completely by having my toilet set up and then my sink set up after. And we'll get rid of the polluted water that is starting to back up a little bit. But in terms of down here, everything's kind of okay. There are little bits of polluted oxygen everywhere. Oxygen is doing okay in this part. There's where the transfers are happening. It's struggling a little bit, so I might put in another 2 deodorizers here, and then hopefully that will help. Yeah, let me do that now. It won't take 2 minutes. I'll just put 4 in and run a power wire, and then this can all be ripped out later once it's all clean and tidy. But yeah, I mean the plumbing, it's getting done now. I will. That's the plumbing overview. Just if you, for whatever reason, want to copy my design, I say design, it's not much of one, but the main important things are your output pipe from your toilet into the sieve, not the other way around, because that just breaks everything and it's not ideal. But yeah, I will cut to when this is all complete. Yeah. Okay, so everything's now plumbed in. We just need to get the water going. So I'll enable auto bottle, and I will watch this like a hawk. because I basically just want the he's going to run some water, puts it in there, and that starts pumping. I'm not too bothered about wasting power pumping this at such a low volume, but you could always fill this with water and pump later. But like that's, I'm going to say that's probably enough once this is emptied. And yeah, so that's going to be 400 kilos of water. And once that's sort of in the system, once they've been to the toilet a few times, I will rip that out quite viciously, just out of principle. But I will drop in. See, like we're in a position now where we could drop in a sink, so I'm going to do that. And I will cut to sort of once this is all flowing. Okay, so we've now got everything plumbed in, and effectively now, when things get used, this will all flow through, and the water that's been held there will just decrease and decrease and decrease. Hopefully, if not, I can cut the pipe, which will put a little bit in the liquid reservoir, and that will prevent, major build-up. But I mean, at the moment, everyone's kind of done what they're supposed to do. The deodorizers are working hard. I've also put one here just to reduce the flow and how far this gets. I'm hoping to get the polluted oxygen out of this space too, but we'll see for now. The water level is going down, but I think it might be time to consider pumping it elsewhere, rather than just banking it all in liquid reservoirs. Then where? I suppose that's about that. I'm going to build another liquid reservoir and just build another, what, 4? Yeah, if you can, I would just pump this elsewhere, but out of laziness, really. I've got nowhere for it to go that I want it to live anywhere, and I'm not going to put it somewhere if it's not its proper house, he says. Hey, I've done that a backward way, haven't I? I'll just fix that up a little bit. But yeah, there is some discussion about whether showers are necessary, namely the fact that, they aren't necessary, they don't need to shower. They can just use the sink and the toilet and they'll be happy, but I give them showers. What can I say, I'm lovely. Yeah, that water's never going to get used, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut the pipe. Oh, well, I'm going to disconnect the pipe. Just like this, he says. Yeah, disconnect the pipe. And then I will rebuild the pipe once the liquid pump has fed the system a little bit. And that way I don't have to mess about with cleaning up the liquid and emptying the water pipes and stuff. But yeah, that's plumbed bathrooms, really. The hatches are, well, I mean, I've not really got much to say about them. There's 7 of them there. One of them's about to die. So we kind of need to build, what we're going to do with them. In the kitchen and stuff like that, which is certainly on. But yeah, maybe that. I think we're getting there with this. It might not look it, but that's because of the way the sort of fluid mechanics work in this game. So if you take this tile, there is 4 kilos of water in these tiles, and if you take the polluted water tile, there is 206. So really, it looks the same as like 1,000 kilograms, 1,000 kilograms, 1,000 kilograms, but in reality, it's starting to go down quite substantially. And as we get more things flowing, it will go down even quicker, hopefully. But yeah, I think I'm going to put in another ranch level here, but I think first I'm going to carve out a little room. I'll make it that big. Yeah, I'll make it that big. And I like to put floors on things, especially now that we've got the nature reserve up, because I don't need to really worry about that now, because they're always going to kind of flow through where I want them to. I mean, there's none of. I'm after a chef, is what I'm looking for. So I'm not going to take any of them because I don't really need any. I will set up some doors here to allow good airflow. And I will make a small transformer room. I'm conscious I've got one there, but I don't think it particularly matters having loads of them. I think, to be honest, it just helps with your power grid, because I'm going to need power, various things up here, and I don't want to be running heavy wire around. Are we looking for food? So I'm going to stick in an electric grill, and I'm going to stick in an egg cracker just there, and then when I put my transformer down, my power transformer, I'll just put it sit there, and I will run my heavy wire up to my transformer, and I will run my normal wire up and then into the tile. I will put that there, and then I will probably I should wire in the auto swiper, shouldn't I? Yeah, good measure. Put that in there, and then once we unlock shipping, that can do it itself. But the reason that I've done that, actually, just to make sure this gets full. So we'll take from the storage bin and just put it into there, which is it saves me the job, really. But yeah, I'm conscious that it's very cut heavy. I've not particularly been talking loads. What have I got to say? The egg cracking. I suppose that's particularly relevant when talking about ranching. The egg cracking can be tricky. So as you can see here, I've only got 7 critters, but I've probably got 2 eggs. I need to keep a certain number of eggs for my incubation, to make sure that we have a sustainable and ongoing ranch population. So I'm going to put that incubation room there, and then all of the eggs can kind of just be cracked and eaten. But it's important that I get them out of there quickly, because currently, if you look at the, he says, where is it? Where am I looking? It's not what I'm after. Status. Right. If you look at cramped. Cramped limits the reproduction rate just pretty much completely. And that's not great, because obviously you want it to produce eggs, because that's what we're going to eat. So we're going to set up, I think we'll probably go for 4 or 5 incubators that we will just have running. And we'll have them running based on whether this critter drop-off is full. I will do that manually, by way of a switch, and I will just figure something out really on whether that. I truthfully haven't figured out how I'm going to do that yet. But yeah, that will prevent overpopulation and stop us from walking ourselves into an early grave of our hatch population. But I mean, one of them is going to die pretty soon anyway, elderly. But yeah, I'll cut to this building work being done. Okay, so welcome back. Our first eggs have been cracked. Just some hatchling eggs, because we've got a fair few of them. I'm going to set up 2 incubators here. I'm just researching them now. I'm going to put 2 incubators here and an automation switch. I'm not particularly bothered about, whether it's full or whether it's not full, because I'm kind of just wanting them for food at this stage. Like, I'm not looking to maximise the 8 on every ranch. But it should be able to help us, maintain the population. And we've already got a load of raw eggs, and we'll have to set up an auto sweeper to move them into our storage. And I should also get a fridge going. But yeah, no, I think that's probably going to be about it for today. The new sanitation system is working as we wanted it to. They are currently producing some water. Obviously it's really littered with germs, but nothing too bad. The slime biome is getting there, I would say. I mean, this is pretty much safe for them now. No one's infected. When you go into the menu, there's some little bits, some slithers, but I mean nothing major. Like it's certainly livable. I can put some stuff in here now. Um, but yeah, no, that's about all I've got. In the next episode, I will probably look to automate the auto sweeper and get that running down to my coal mine. Get the eggs going to where I need them and the meat going to where I need them, and probably whack in another one. But yeah, no. Well, thank you very much for watching. If you've enjoyed, please leave a comment and a like, and subscribe as well while you're down there if you go down there. But yeah, no. Catch you in the next one.